Here we go again. This is on Fox 32 Chicago. Community calls for release of video after 13-year-old killed by Chicago cop. Now, the information we have is a bit sketchy, but what we do have is rather telling, and it kind of points to a serious problem we have in this country. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
Okay, so let's read this. After police shot and killed a 13-year-old boy in what officials described as an armed confrontation in Little Village Monday, everyone from Mayor Lori Lightfoot to community activists called for the release of videos that could shed light on what happened. Meanwhile, the boy's mother said she also wants answers about the death of her son, who she said wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. And I got to be kind of careful about these kind of things. You interview the parents and they're going to talk about their kid and they're not going to say a lot of negative things. And so he wanted to be a police officer. That's what her claim is. Adam Toledo, 13, who lived about a mile and a half from the incident in an alley west of the 2300 block of South Sawyer Avenue, I have no idea where that is, was shot in the chest and later died, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office said. In a statement, police said officers responded to a shot spotter alert about 2:35 in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. And he is out running around, 13 years old, and saw two males. One person, who was allegedly armed, ran from the scene and was shot by an officer during the armed confrontation, police said. Okay, and it says here, police shared a photo of a gun allegedly recovered at the scene. There it is. Okay. My eyesight is bad, but it looks to me like that thing has been emptied. Okay. That person, later identified as Adam, died at the scene, police said. Authorities took 4 days to release Adam's name as they waited to notify next of kin, blah, blah, blah. The other person who ran from police, 21-year-old Reuben Roman Jr. of Edgewater, was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor count of resisting arrest, police said. So both these kids took off. In 2019, Roman pleaded guilty to illegal gun possession stemming from an arrest in Evanston and was sentenced to probation, court records show. So this kid is 13 years old. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's running around with an ex-con. Elizabeth Toledo, Adam's mom, said in a phone interview Thursday that she doesn't know what happened to her son, who she last saw Sunday when they attended a memorial service for a relative who died. So his mother hasn't seen him for a few days. I don't get this. I really don't understand this at all. She told the Sun-Times she just wants answers about what really happened. Okay, I get that. I haven't heard from cops since yesterday when they knocked on my door, said Toledo, 44. The officer in Monday's incident was placed on desk duty for 30 days while the Civilian Office of Police Accountability investigates the shooting, police said. The shooting was captured by body-worn camera, but it wasn't immediately clear if investigators would release it, COPA said in a statement Thursday. COPA is required to release body camera video of police shootings within 60 days of the incident, but policy prohibits them from sharing video if the victim is under 18 years old. Without a court order, the video would not be released, COPA said. Okay, then what you need to do is go file for a court order. Next steps. However, investigators will release another evidence, including 9/11 calls, police reports, and radio transmissions within 60 days, COPA said. In a statement, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who has a 13-year-old daughter, said she can only imagine the incredible pain this boy's parents are experiencing at this moment. My heart goes out to them. Well, okay, I'm a little bit cynical here, but his mother hadn't seen him in a few days. And he's out at 2:30 in the morning running around with the next con. Police Superintendent David Brown said the shooting was tragic and adamantly called for the release of relevant videos. My greatest fear as the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department has been a deadly encounter between one of our own and a juvenile, especially given the recent rise in violent crimes involving juveniles throughout our city, the statement said. Unfortunately, this fear became a reality earlier this week. I would say, especially given the recent rise in violent crimes committed by juveniles, not just involving. Adam's mom said the family moved to Little Village in November and lived just a few blocks from where he was shot. He was always happy. He loved animals. He was loving to all his siblings, she said. Okay, I get it. You're a mother. You're trying to say nice things about him, but he's out at 2:30 in the morning running around with an ex-con. And she said he wanted to be a cop when he grew up, and next thing you know, a cop took his life. She said, well, you know what? He may have wanted to be a cop, but he probably needed to act more like what a person wanting to be a cop would act like. For example, going home at a reasonable hour, not hanging out with ex-cons, not carrying a gun around. Now you might think, wait a minute, what about that Second Amendment? He's 13. He doesn't have a permit. He can't legally own that gun. He can't legally possess it. That's a violation of federal law. Near the scene of the incident on Thursday, residents gathered for a yard sale and formed a line along 24th Street where a local church was holding a food drive. The incident took place behind Farragut Career Academy High School. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest. I think you guys get the picture. There's a picture there of the area. So what do you think? Any lessons to be learned here? If so, type them in the comments below. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.